are potentially one weekend away from a New York Giants at Dallas Cowboys NFC title game. And I don't know what to do with myself yet because I got things to say that people aren't going to believe. But when we are here calm right now, it will not stay this way, but we're going to try to
it's,
get these words out objectively as much as humanly possible.
it's gonna be some effort made.
Because you see my man's my OG to the, you know what I mean, on that side of the bill, the Quiet Storm in the full Dallas, the retiring Tom Brady Dallas, the going to Tampa Bay, like they beat, they wore Tom and them out, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Over there to the, Mr. Quiet Storm, decked out as he should be. His team is in the divisional.
Hmm.
You know me, I'm Ace. I got the Mets on today. I'm feeling comfortable because what's going to happen this Saturday is a business trip, and we're going to talk about it. It's a business trip, man. We got things to handle. Giants winning to Minnesota handled their business as I told people that they would.
Hmm. Hmm.
But we're gonna get that nice, lovely introduction out the way. Pop, how you feeling? Coming off this magnificent, monstrous, unbelievable Dak Prescott performance win.
First of all, thank you, everyone. God bless you. We're happy
Yes,
to come before you again. It's been a while.
it's been a minute.
Ace wasn't feeling well, so he had to get himself
Right,
better.
right.
And and I'm not doing it without him. So
My man,
so we ain't it's Ace
you
and the
feel
Quiet
me?
Storm.
Like, come on, man.
So it's gonna be what it is. Um, I want to say to everyone this to piggyback off what Ace has said, what my son has said. Um, just last year was the NFC least, right?
Mm.
Just last year, the Cowboys were the best in a horrible division. Funny what a year makes and a few changes makes and a few um, what a culture can do for a team, or in this case, three teams from the NFC East getting to the playoffs.
Right,
The Eagles are where they are. They earned it.
they did.
Dallas is where they are, back to back 12 win years for the first time
Yes,
since 94, 95.
handling business.
And the Giants are doing pretty much what I thought they would do with Brian Dable as a head coach. Saquon Barkley being healthy has made all the difference in the world for the New York football Giants. That team, you see what he means and what he brings to that
Saquon
team.
was Saquon's
And
locked in.
and you also saw what it was like not having him or not having him at 100%. So you're getting the Saquon that we saw when he first got to the league, and you're seeing a lot of pressure being taken off Daniel Jones to
Right.
have to win games for the Giants. He doesn't have to
Damn, he
do
played
that.
so well. So he played
And
so well on Sunday.
and yeah, because to go into Minnesota and beat Minnesota now,
Oh, Daniel,
listen, he did his
Daniel,
thing. And I was
Daniel.
telling Ace prior to tonight's show was that the NFC East is pretty much, owned Minnesota this year. I mean, in Minnesota.
Yeah,
Dallas went in there and beat them down.
beat him badly.
Um, the Giants just went in there and took care of business. So the NFC East has an opportunity to have a Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, just to be in that conversation is a beautiful
They do.
thing at this time of
Final
year.
four in the NFC. There are
Yeah.
three NFC East teams.
And you can't
It's
ask
big
for more
time.
than that. You can't ask for more than that. It's a good time, and we'll get into our predictions
Let's
later.
recap. Yeah, let's
You
recap
know.
this weekend, man. We'll go in order real quick.
Hmm.
We had so a game that now is set up for what you're going to be doing this Sunday. San Francisco handle business against Seattle. Seattle's game for a little bit, but that San Francisco team is legit. That San Francisco team has weapons. Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey looks like just. a full menace in that offense.
Hmm.
Elijah Mitchell back. That defense is great. Um, the game went basically how I expected. I think San Francisco is just, a good step above what Seattle is. Seattle's a good
Hmm.
team, a solid team. San Francisco's very, very, very good.
Yes.
This is now 10 straight, 11 straight wins for them.
Hmm.
I think, this is ever since McCaffrey touched down, they haven't lost. And
Hmm.
the Brock Purdy kid is playing well. So now you had that game locked in. The crazy game was that night. You got the Chargers up 27-0 in Jacksonville.
Listen, listen, man.
What are we
Let
doing,
me tell
Jack?
you
What are we
guys.
doing, Chargers?
Let me tell you guys something now. There's no way in hell a Dallas team could blow a 27-0 lead and
They gonna run
everybody
the
not fired by
bro.
by the next
Everyone.
morning.
They're fired
Everybody's
that night.
fired.
If
But
Dallas had that lead, Dallas runs the ball 72 times in the second half. We gonna drain this clock, baby. I don't know what y'all
listen,
talking about.
they're gonna run the ball between Pollard, Zeke, and whoever else is on the
We gonna
roster
drain this clock
for the
until you
rest
got
of the
no time
game.
left. I don't know
We
what y'all
just
talking
gonna
about.
pound into you for the rest of the game.
I don't
We
know
ain't
what
no
y'all
way
doing.
we losing a 27-0 lead,
Yeah, we doing
right?
run, run, pass until y'all
So
get until the
that's
game
it.
is over.
That's all we gonna do. It's gonna be like Madden. Run one pass. Run one pass.
I don't know what y'all
27-point lead? No, that's not gonna
nuts,
happen.
man,
No, that's
nuts.
ridiculous.
Those. So I mean, Trevor Lawrence. We've been
Hmm.
as Bama fans on the other end of what Trevor Lawrence is capable of in big games.
Yes, yes.
Four interceptions in the first half, and comes back and has a masterful second half against that team.
Well, that's it.
Looks
Listen,
wonderful.
he looked like a
He looked
guy
unbelievable in
taking
that second half.
everything that the Chargers were giving him and taking it willingly. And listen, it got out of hand. But when you see it getting out of hand as a coach, what adjustments are you making to right the ship? Right? What
Right.
adjustments are you making to say we need okay, they got 14 points real quick. It's 27-14.
What
Let
are
us
we gonna do
what
here?
do we need to do to stop this? Because before you know it, it's gonna be 27-21.
That
Then we're
coach
gonna
is
be losing.
horrible.
So that
They were
just
up
goes
30-14. When it was 27-14, they
that's
went
right.
out, they got a three, 30-14. I was like, okay, all right, this game's probably.
Hmm.
And then they just kept scoring,
Yeah,
man.
they just kept
They just
scoring.
kept going down and scoring. Miss, a missed field goal by your kicker, that's fine, but you're up 27-0 with
That's true.
a top tier running back in Austin Eckler.
Hmm.
You have Herbert, who's coming to his own. He's a star. You've got guys. You've got possession receiver. There's no way they should have 27-0 is
No, no way.
crazy
No way.
to come back
But but
down.
but but but, but how did they respond? Oh, they fired the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach.
That
Your
coach
head
had to get
coach,
out of here.
listen, come on, man. You don't fire the head coach,
That coach had to go,
right?
man.
I mean, sometimes coaches get too much blame. No, I can't say that. You're making too much money to get too much blame. If your
Not this
team
guy,
lose
man.
like that, you shouldn't have a job the next day.
Not to mention, this is the same coach who they were locked into this 5 seed
That's right.
in week 18, and they go get Mike Williams back broken in a meaningless game.
In a
Like,
meaningless game.
you gotta go, bro. Like at
You
this
gotta
point,
go.
you
Yeah.
gotta be out of
You
here.
gotta go.
You gotta pay the Sean Payton price and bring him in. You gotta do something at this point. It's
Absolutely.
horrible. But
Absolutely.
Jacksonville moves on. We had San Francisco, Jacksonville move on.
Hmm.
We move into Sunday. We thought this Bills Miami game was going to be a smoke job. And it started off that way,
It started
17
off
nothing
that way.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Josh Allen started to do these weird Josh Allen things that he has been doing this year. He'll make a few throws that you're like, come on, Josh, this is not what we do. Skylar Thompson, bum ass, starts to get his team back in the game. They start to make some plays. Tyreek Hill running around. There's some interesting things going on. Next thing you know, Miami's
Yeah.
up. They get a fumble from Josh. They
Hmm.
go up. Buffalo responds well. They go up 10, and then they give up another touchdown. Buffalo holds on by 3. Now, these division games in the playoffs get really weird. My man Brendan says it a lot. Division games are weird. But Skylar Thompson keeping that team in, that was interesting. Buffalo moves on,
Hmm.
but that game was fascinating to me. And it started off a very interesting Sunday because that Sunday slate of games got
Hmm.
very, very interesting. But this
You know,
Buffalo team,
you know,
it's Super Bowl or bust for them.
right, right.
Are
That's
we
right, right.
still feeling like Buffalo is coming out of the AFC?
No,
Okay.
no, and
Okay.
because at this point, and
We'll have to touch
yes,
on that once we get
I
to the this week's
yeah,
predictions. Yeah.
because I understand, and sometimes it's hard to game plan for a guy that doesn't have tape, right? So you're looking at Miami's quarterback. There's not really a lot of tape on him. There's not a what he can do or how he can do it. So you're playing with just instinct and calling base defenses, or you might get a little exotic here and there with your blitz packages or your run stunts. So
Right.
you might get a little exotic here and there on him just
Right.
to frustrate him and see how he responds to that. But give Miami credit, they responded
They did.
to it, and he put them in a position to win. And that's what you in a playoff game, you just want to be in a position to
You sort of win.
win the
That
game.
that is
And
all that matters.
that's what matters.
Yeah.
But how you win also matters because Dallas, the piggyback, Dallas goes into Tampa. Regardless,
Hmm.
Tampa being 8-9, they still facing Brady. They still have a couple of
Right.
guys that they could throw the ball to. Dallas refused to allow Tom Brady to get into any type of
They just
rhythm,
handle business. They
any
went in
type
there and
of,
handled business, man.
and so how they won was very impressive.
It was.
Now, how they go into San Francisco is going to be built upon last night.
It's gonna be interesting.
Will
So
Buffalo have that same
yeah,
lackluster effort where all of a sudden for about 8 minutes, 9 minutes, they
they
can't
can't.
do anything right,
They
and
can't.
will a better team take advantage of that?
They can't do that Saturday. So
They
second
can't do
Sunday
it.
game, my Giants going to Minnesota. I told you a couple of days before Giants are beating Minnesota this game.
Hmm.
I just felt like the game they played against Minnesota where Jefferson went insane, Hawkinson went insane. There's only but so much craziness those guys can do, and we still lost to a 61-yard field goal.
Mm.
If we game plan a little better, if we get a little bit more pressure, and if we execute on offense the way we should, have these long drives, keep our defense fresher than we
Hmm.
did in that first game, which we did. Daniel Jones played the best game he has ever played. He looked unbelievable.
Yeah,
He
he
was
did.
he was the best quarterback in the playoffs as far as performance wise until Dak played Monday night. I thought Dak was
Hmm.
masterful. But Jones was incredible. Saquon was great. Our receivers played well. The Slayton drop was heartbreaking because that puts the game away. But our defense
Yes.
came, we bailed them out, and then
Hmm.
shout out to Kirk Cousins for a little 3 yard check down on 4th and 8. We appreciate that very very much, Kirk.
Kirk
Thank you.
Cousins doing Kirk Cousins things, man.
Appreciate you, my guy.
That's
You
what he
know,
do. You
Love
like
and
that?
respect.
Yep.
Yeah, I
If you're a
do.
Giant
I
fan,
really
you
did,
do.
man. I
Yes,
really
you
did
do.
like that check down. You got just throw the ball towards Justin Jefferson on 4th and 8 for your season. Just throw the ball towards
For your
him.
season,
I don't
just
care
throw it up
where he
there.
is.
That's right.
Just he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But the Giants played really well.
Hmm.
Giants now going to Philly. We're gonna get to the predictions. That Sunday night game. Here's here's the mo that 27-0 loss that the Chargers had was painful.
Hmm.
This Ravens loss with that QB sneak goes up, reaches the ball from the 2 yard line, knocked out of his hand, 98-yard touchdown
Yeah.
return. If Baltimore scores and goes up 24-17 on Cincinnati, I think Baltimore wins that game and this shows Cincinnati.
Hmm.
I just think they were so ratcheted up. I think they played really good defense. They, I really think that play, of course, it turned the game. I think Baltimore wins that game if they don't. But Cincinnati gets the return. Cincinnati wins at home. They set up the game that everybody wanted to see. They wanted to see Cincinnati at Buffalo
Hmm.
before we get to what could happen in an AFC title game.
Hmm.
Um, the Lamar Jackson thing, though, like that boy gone. He out. He's not playing for them anymore, man. He can't.
Well, this is the problem that Baltimore has. Even with that fumble recovery, you had 11 minutes left in the game,
They did.
right? You had plenty of game left,
He did.
and you were unable to refocus yourselves.
Yep.
And that is coaching.
It crushed them, man.
That's coaching. It crushed them
It
because
crushed
as
them
a defense, the defense still held Cincinnati
to 17
to,
points.
exactly. So
And that's a big time offense.
you still as an offense lost your way
Yep.
after that. And that's coaching. That's your position coaches. That's your coordinators. Not getting on your guy. Listen, let it go. Let it. Sometimes you got to get. Even if they are millionaires, you got to get in their heads a little bit and let them realize, hey, let's go back out there, do what we've been doing.
Let's figure this out. Yeah.
We're gonna figure it out. Sometime with that much time left on the clock, I thought Baltimore was gonna figure it out. Now, I would not have. I would have turned around and handed the ball off a couple of times,
Yes. Why are
right?
we doing a QB sneak
Why are
from the
we doing a
two?
QB sneak from the two? Why are we doing that?
And why
Now,
is he jumping over the pile? What is he doing, bro? What
like what you doing, man? In the NFL, like that's gonna really work for you,
Lamar was at
right?
home like,
I'm not like, you know what?
mm.
Okay.
Told y'all.
As to
All you
your
got to do is
point
take him.
about, yeah, and to your point about Lamar being gone. I have always said this about running quarterbacks. Quarterbacks who use their legs more than their arms. At some point, you're not going to win a Super Bowl that way. You're going to have to figure out a way to dissect an offense. I mean, a defense. You're going to have to figure out a way to make some of these throws that are pinpoint accurate. You're going to have to figure out a way to
Yep.
lead your receiver into more yardage. I give you an example. There was a play where Dak Prescott had CeeDee Lamb wide open. If he leads CeeDee Lamb perfectly, CeeDee walks into the end zone. CeeDee Lamb had a little bit off balance to make the catch, ended up no more of a great catch, first down,
Hmm.
ended up scoring a touchdown on that
Right.
drive. But that play could have been even more of a
Right.
backbreaker for a defensive mindset.
That's
Man,
a play against San Francisco that you have to make
you
a
have to
perfect
make.
throw
You
there
have to because that
because you're not
defense
going to
is
get a
much
lot of
better.
chances. Yeah.
That's right. That defense is
Yeah.
much better
That's a good
than what
point.
you saw in Tampa. So those throws
Dak was
matter. And
incredible last night,
when I
bro.
have an issue with Dak, it's only because he can hit the open guy. He makes a pretty good throw on the run. When he's
He does.
rolling out, he throws a very good ball. My fear is if San Francisco takes that away from him, if he and make him a pocket quarterback, can he be as effective? And San Francisco is going to try to do that. They're not going to now that they see that he's running again. They're not going to let him scramble like that. They're going to try to box him in, keep everything in front of them, and force him to throw the ball downfield and trust their pass rushers. That's going to be an interesting game. Do I think Dallas is capable of winning? We'll get to that later. But
Okay.
it's going to be
Okay.
a very good NFL weekend. This weekend is crazy.
It's gonna be big. We talked about the Cowboys. Cowboys just went in there and handled business last night. The defense looked unbelievable. Michael was flying around everywhere. Mike, it's that defensive line. Your secondary played well. Vander Esch played well. You guys have Dallas' defense has been good all year. And
Yeah,
this is gonna
yeah.
be and they worked Tampa Bay, man. Tampa Bay looked bad. Now you got a kicker who missed four straight extra points. And I
The
don't know
old
his
Dallas
mind
loses
is.
that game when a kicker does that.
I don't know where
This
his mind is going into a monster game in San. We'll talk about it, but that's the one thing that stood out. Everything was perfect last night. Dak looked unbelievable. Your kicker, who you've been able to rely on all year, did
mhm.
not look unbelievable.
The most
Um,
important thing Maher did was make his last kick.
I
That's
think that
probably
helps.
the most. I
I
think
think
that's
that
the
helps.
most important thing he did from us psychologically. He made the last one. He
He
put
got
it
his
there,
last one in. He saw one go
and it
through.
was perfect right down the middle. I
Right, he
think
saw one go through.
sometimes you just have a bad damn night, and he
That was
picked the
insane.
worst night to have it on national TV
Monday
with
night against
on
Brady.
Monday night against Brady. You picked tonight to miss 4 extra points, but that offense was clicking at such a level. Those four
It didn't even
points
matter.
didn't come into play.
Didn't even make a difference.
So I think that Dallas goes into San Francisco. It has an
Confident.
excellent game, and listen, this might be the best team San Francisco's played since McCaffrey got there.
I
So you
100% agree.
so
Yeah.
I think that they're both are going to bring out the best in one another.
Mhm.
Dallas has a little
That's the
chip on
last
their
game of the
shoulder.
weekend coming up too.
Yep.
It's going to be
Yeah. Dallas has
that's
a
going
little
to be
chip
the
on their shoulder the way
they do.
San Francisco came into Dallas last year and beat them handily.
Hmm.
Dallas made a game of it in the fourth quarter, but
They
they
did.
ended up. But that game was pretty much like
San Fran,
All San Fran
played a better
for
game. They
three and a
bullied
half
them a little
quarters.
bit. You
Exactly.
know,
So I
um,
think it's going to be a little bit more interesting. I think the defense is different this year. Anthony Barr is just playing very well for Dallas. Um,
you want to
listen,
start on this Dallas game, don't you? I know. I hear it again every time we get to this. You want to start with this Dallas game. You know what? We're
no,
gonna
we're
go
going
in
to
order.
start with the
We're gonna go in
AFC
order
because I want to
because I
see.
know you want to get into this. You know what? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So you know we'll start in order of the games.
yeah.
First game Saturday. We've
Hmm.
got the Chiefs and hosting that Jaguars team with the big comeback. This game is fun because this Jaguars team, they played Kansas City. They scored on Kansas City. Kansas City beat them up.
Hmm.
But you got a hot team in Jacksonville. You got a confident team. You've got
Hmm.
a really high powered offense. ETN's back there doing things. Christian Kirk looked wonderful
Hmm.
throughout that second half. Zay Jones is a good guy. Evan Ingram, listen. I'm an Evan. That dude dropped anything he could with us, but he looks magnificent on that Jacksonville offense. He looks wonderful.
Kansas City going to win by 2 scores, man.
I tried to make it sound good, man.
You trying your best, man. You trying. I see. You trying. Yo,
I'm trying to make it sound.
you trying to be on. Listen, my ace is up here trying to
Mahomes about
sound
to,
trying to
Mahomes about
sound
to
like
come out.
Jack Buck and Troy Aikman. He's trying to be all philosophical with it.
Mahomes about to come out
Man, Mahomes is gonna
and
beat
rock
that
this team, man.
Mahomes in that building with
Because I
that
definitely think
crowd.
Jackson. I think
It's gonna be a
Jacksonville's a
2 score
good
game.
team. Jackson. This is going to be good for Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to be good
They
for a
need the
while.
experience. That's right.
They really do. The Chiefs are. Mm-mm,
The
mm-mm.
Chiefs, after not
This is
winning
tough, man.
last year,
This is a tough
the
environment to
Chiefs,
go into, man.
and you're asking for a lot for an Andy Reid
Coming off a
coach
bye,
team coming off a bye, and just
Andy. Oh,
and you have to jump on. Excuse me. You have to jump on Kansas City early, and that may not be enough. How many teams have gone into KC, jumped on them early, and lose?
here's the thing with Kansas City, though.
Right?
Here's my thing with Kansas City. Mahomes is amazing. Kelsey is great. Can Pat trust the Juju Smith Schusters, Marquez Valdez Scantlings of the world in the playoffs? He had
You
Tyreek last
can when
year.
they're open by 3 or 4 yards because Andy Reid is going to see to it that you don't have to worry about it, Patrick. We're going to do some slants. We're going to do some quick
They
outs from the
unlocked Jarek
sideline.
McKinnon. McKinnon looks like a world beater now.
Man, let me tell you something.
Yeah, yeah.
They're going to be like,
This looks
listen,
like a 34, 20, 23 type
that's
game.
what I'm thinking. I'm thinking
Yeah.
38, 24,
38.
38.
Ooh.
Oh, they're going to put up 38 on them. They're gonna
Okay.
put if Dallas's offense can put up almost 30 and lose, you think Kansas City offense is better than Dallas's?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
And
This
that
is
game
gonna be
was
tough for
in
Trevor, man.
Jacksonville. So it's gonna
This
be
is gonna
tough for
be tough for
Jacksonville.
Trevor.
Now, stranger things have happened,
They have.
Ace. We've
They
seen
have.
stranger things happen in the
We're gonna
playoffs.
get that with the next game.
Yep.
We're gonna get to that. I think Kansas City comes in and they
They'll win
put
by two
on.
scores. I feel like it's gonna be a
Yeah,
two
I
score
agree.
game.
Speaking of a two-score game, we have. If we're going in order, we're gonna do this right. Prime time Saturday night.
Hmm.
Philadelphia Eagles come off of their bye. They welcome a tough, scrappy, well, magnificently coached coach of the year,
Yeah, I think Dable's coach of
I
the year.
think.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm biased. So what? Coach of the
No,
year,
no, I'm a
Brian
Dallas
Dable.
fan. I think Brian Dable should be coach of the year. He's done a great job with that team.
You know, Philadelphia smokes us in the first game.
Hmm.
They play our second and third string. You know,
Yeah.
Hurts come off. He wasn't ready. I get it. They handle
Hmm.
business. They won. They get their bye week.
Hmm.
Giants come in. This is a layup. Giants aren't nearly as good as Philly. Philly is better at everywhere except for running back. Saquon is better. Hurts
Hmm.
is the MVP candidate. Hurts is really good.
Hmm.
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, roll damn tide on the other side.
Roll Tide, baby.
That defense, great corners.
Hmm.
Defensive line is really good. They're at home. This is setting up. Philly is going to welcome in whoever, and Philly loses by at least 10 points Saturday night. Philly's going to block well because they're just not going to block as well as they usually do.
Hmm.
They're going to rush the passer nice. We're going to block them a little bit better than we have.
Hmm.
We're going to play the run better than they realize we're going to play the run.
Hmm.
Hurts isn't going to be able to run around and do whatever he wants. We've got some guys back. Their
Hmm.
wide receivers are dangerous. We understand. We played against the most dangerous wide receiver in football this last week. We understand.
Hmm.
Hawkinson is excellent. I think Goddard might be better. We're gonna
That could be.
understand what to do there. Philly's gonna
Right.
get their point. Philly's gonna score a couple touchdowns.
Hmm.
They'll get to 17. Giants are gonna get to 27.
Hmm.
Giants are gonna put together a game plan that's gonna be a lot different from anybody thinks.
Hmm.
Philly's a much better football team, top to bottom, than the Giants, talent wise.
Hmm.
It shouldn't even be close. Philly is going to play against a team that they feel like they're better than,
Hmm.
and they'll be right.
Right. Right.
They're just not
I.
going to be better Saturday night. I
Well.
truly, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't think this is because the Giants are better, because I don't think they're better. If I'm a Philly fan, I feel confident. Oh, come on,
Right.
man! Like I get it. You guys just won a wild card game. You're not. I get it. It's
Hmm.
not gonna. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be a fun night in Philly. Those fans are gonna start turning on each other. You're gonna get some weird boos for Hurts and that offense because they're gonna be looking a little weird. Things are gonna be off. You're gonna get those Philly boos. Those fans are gonna
Yeah.
turn on one another.
Right. Right.
Players are gonna tighten up. It's gonna be
Hmm.
fourth quarter. It's gonna be 24-14. They'll come down, get a field goal. We'll get a field goal. We'll win 27-17, something like that. And they're gonna look up and say, I don't know why we didn't play our best game because we're much better than that. And they are.
Hmm.
They just won't be Saturday.
Well, that right there pretty much is to all my friends who are, well, they might not be my friends after I get done right now, but to my boys who are Eagles fans, I'm going to say this: the weight of expectations is real.
Hmm.
When you win 13 games in the
Nah,
NFL,
14.
14,
14 and
14
3.
and 2, 14 and 3.
14 and 3.
So when you win 14 games in the NFL,
Hmm.
the weight of expectations become real,
And they only lost those mother two.
right?
People like to
Now,
say we only lost those two because we had
now,
Minshew. If
now,
we had Hurts, maybe we
if you
go
had Hurts,
16
maybe
and 1.
16 and 1, right?
Right.
Right? I'm going to say this. I love Jalen Hurts. Roll Tide.
Roll damn tide.
I love Devonta Smith. Roll Tide. I love
Roll damn
Landon
tide.
Dickerson on that offensive line.
Roll damn
Roll
tide.
damn Tide. So I'm always going to root for those Tide, for those guys, because they were good guys. Those are
They
guys
were.
you want to root for.
Mm-hmm.
Guys you want to see succeed.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that Philadelphia has is the weight of expectation in a city that is not very forgiving. That's number one. And two, they're playing a team that has nothing to lose at this point.
Nope.
They're going to come out there and ball out. They're going to come out there and be and execute on every play.
I
They're going
think
to
they
come
will.
out there and they're going to put a little licking on Jalen Hurts,
I think they might.
right? And I don't know how good his shoulder is. They said he could have played a couple of games. They just want to sit him out a little longer. They
Cool.
felt they had the number one seed wrapped up. Okay, that's cool. But you still don't know until he ends up on the ground. You don't know,
I
right?
think Jalen's gonna be fine.
And Jalen's going to be okay. But mentally, is he capable of understanding the weight of the moment? The
It's Super
weight
Bowl or bust for
of the
Philly.
moment. And for Philadelphia, the way they've constructed their team this year,
It's win
Super Bowl
everything or nothing.
or nothing. So
Hmm.
I think if I have to say, I think it might be a little closer than 10 points. I think the Giants go into Philly, upset Philadelphia
Hmm.
24-20.
Okay.
I think the Giants are just a team that is progressing, trending upwards right before our eyes. And Brian Dable, I said when they hired Brian Dable, I said this openly. He might be, he will become the best coach in that division before long. And he's beginning to show that.
He
He's
might be the
beginning
best
to
coach in the
show,
division now.
right? And exactly. He just may be. So I think that the way the players respond to him, the way
Hmm.
other coaches respect him, I
Hmm.
think the way these guys rally and the way he supports and stands by his guys, I think that transcends to him being a very, very good coach, and he knows how to get the best out of his players. The Giants could have folded midway through the season,
Yep.
right? The Giants were looking kind
Mm,
of sketchy around Thanksgiving. Now,
Giants,
but
yeah, yeah.
all of a
Bad little win
sudden,
streak. Yeah, things
yeah,
start to get over.
all of a
7 and
sudden
1 was a
they
long time
fixed it.
ago.
That's right. They fixed it. They got it right.
Mhm.
Now they're playing a great brand of football, and they have an identity. I still don't know what Philadelphia's identity is.
Philadelphia is
I
one.
think it goes through
If
Jalen Hurts.
Philadelphia
If Jalen Hurts
plays,
plays well, that team is very
if
dangerous.
Philadelphia plays their best game, the Giants get blown off the field because I think
Yeah,
talent wise, it's it.
right.
I just think we're gonna take them out of playing their best
I
game.
just don't think that they'll play their best game. I don't
I
think
don't.
Eagles are going to play their best game. I think they're going to play. They're going to make just enough mistakes. And now, also, here's another area that's very important. Who's going to win the turnover battle? Right? Who's going to win that battle? That's going to be key, especially on a road game. In a
Hmm.
road game, who's going to win that battle in the trenches to keep your team within range, to give your offense the best opportunity to win? So I think the Giants are doing a much better job now and not turning the ball over. That's really starts with your quarterback because he was a turnover machine prior
He
to now.
was.
So he's learned how to protect the ball better. And that's why the Giants are now doing, if you think about the way they're playing now, his ability to protect the ball has helped them greatly in turning the ship around. Because when he was, there's just mindless turnovers at the most inopportune times, that
Hmm.
was costing the Giants. Now,
Hmm.
when you're able to control that aspect, that's why Dak had a great game, not turning the ball over like he was the previous 7 games. He had a great game in protecting the ball. The team had a great game protecting the ball. So that's going to be key for the Giants. And I think the Giants, if anybody's capable of going in there and playing in front of that crowd, it could be the New York Football Giants. My prediction, 24-20, New York Giants.
Saturday night, man. Just Saturday night. Just get me to Saturday night. Everybody who I say this to, come on, man. Like it's just fandom. I get it. I
Yeah.
acknowledge Philadelphia is a better team. If we
They
play them
on
10
paper,
times, they win 7
maybe 7
times.
times. Yeah, 7 out of
They
the
are
10.
better than us. It is
Mhm.
hard to beat a team 3 times in a year.
It sure
It's
is.
it's
And that's
tough.
another factor. Think about that. What that
It's
might be
tough,
the most important thing. It is extremely difficult
right?
to beat
Especially a
any
team
team in the
coached
NFL
as well as the
three
Giants are
team.
coached.
Yes.
It's going to be hard.
Adjustments.
Of
The
course, it's not going to be
adjustments are
shocking.
going to be made.
Philadelphia is a 7.5 point favorite, something like that.
Yeah,
They should be. They're at home. They're the
it
best
should
team in
be.
football.
Mhm.
Just talk to me. Don't even talk to me Sunday. Let's watch the rest of the games on Sunday to see who the Giants play.
Just to
Talk to
see
me
who
on
they play.
Monday.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's all.
and we'll come on live, and then if you guys want to hop in and have a conversation, we'll give you that
Just remember
chance.
I told you. Remember I told you they're winning by 10 points at least in Philly. And you're gonna look at Daniel Jones saying, I lost to this dude by 10 points. And I get it. You still think he's the Daniel Jones. This is different, man.
Yeah,
Saquon is gonna that's fine. Saturday night, we'll see you, man.
we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Sunday.
Hmm.
Now the NFC is getting these prime time, second games and every day. Sunday we start with shout out to Damar Hamlin and his recovery, how wonderful
Amen.
his
God
recovery
bless
has
that young
been.
man.
God is so good, man.
Yes, he
And
is.
we have Buffalo hosting Cincinnati, the game where he got hurt. I think Damar Hamlin is at this game on Sunday. I think it would be cool if he walks both teams out because both those teams were affected by this.
Yes.
T. Higgins, hurting there, people, Buffalo rallying around T. Higgins and making sure people didn't really jump on him like that. But both those teams were affected by this. I think it'd be super cool. They walk out of the same tunnel. Damar Hamlin leads them both out. They get there and then they play this game finally and they let
Hmm.
all of that emotion go past them because Damar's okay. He's home with his family. He was at the facility. You don't have to worry about that anymore. That's not looming. And they come out and play. This game, I think Buffalo plays their best game of the year. I think Buffalo beats Cincinnati 34-24, 34-20. I think Buffalo plays a wonderful game.
Hmm.
I won't be surprised at all if Cincinnati wins because they come out and they do great Cincinnati things. I just feel like Buffalo is due for a very, very good Buffalo game.
I can't dispute any of that. I think that if Hamlin comes out as an honorary captain and goes to midfield, that stadium is going to lose its mind. I think those players on the Buffalo side of the field are going to lose their minds with um with energy. I think even Cincinnati is going to have a high energy, but a different
Yep.
type of energy. Like, oh, this is what we're up against today.
Hmm.
So it's going to be how they respond to that energy that is going to come from the Buffalo crowd and the Buffalo team. I think that energy is going to cost Buffalo early in terms of execution. I think they're going to
Okay.
be too amped up.
Okay.
Um, but I truly believe that Buffalo wins 31-27.
Okay.
I think Buffalo wins this game not because they're light years ahead of Cincinnati, because
No,
Cincinnati's an
Cincinnati's really
excellent
good.
team.
Yeah.
I just think that when you factor in execution, when you factor in game plan, and you just played them a couple of weeks ago, so you still have you both teams have a familiarity with each other,
A little
uh,
bit. A little
a
bit.
little bit.
They didn't
So
play a lot, but they went in with a game plan.
right, I think they
Since
want to
Cincinnati
execute that
punched
plan.
them in the mouth early in that game. A lot of people think Cincinnati probably, maybe they go in
Hmm.
and they win that game because Cincinnati looked really good early.
They did,
Um,
they did.
so I think Buffalo knows just a touch of adjustments here,
Just yeah, and I
and
think
then
at the
and then
end
we'll
of the
figure it
day,
out.
they end up winning the game. I think that Cincinnati is good enough to keep it within
Okay.
less than seven, but I would probably go Buffalo this game.
Okay.
Hmm.
That brings us to Sunday night.
Yes, it does.
Now, like growing up, man, like those, I can see the old school jersey, the big stars on the side, the white
Hmm.
Candlestick Park. You see the dirt there. You see Dion lined up on Jerry. You see he, you see Jerry Rice cooking. They put Darren Woodson on Jerry Rice. Darren Woodson comes down and play, and Darren Woodson plays a beautiful game against right. Like you have these Cowboys San Francisco games that
Hmm.
felt like these are the two best teams in football. Whatever happens here, this is
It
the
is
Super Bowl.
anticlimactic. Whoever wins that game wins the Super Bowl.
That's it. Like
Hmm.
there's so much talent on both sides. The Merton Hanks and Tim McDonald's of the world, and you know other side, Charles Haley's of the world, and
Mhm.
Leon Letts, and Nate Newton's, and best offensive line I've ever seen in life, Emmett and
Mm,
Troy and Alvin Harper are here, and like you have these guys, that was playoffs. That was the
mhm.
monster game. It's something about Dallas playing San Francisco in the playoffs that feels like, oh, this is like
Yeah.
Dallas goes to San Francisco, plays against a rookie quarterback in Brock Purdy, and this is Brock Purdy's biggest challenge because this Dallas defense is the best defense he would have played
Mhm.
since he came in. Brock Purdy has looked really good. Brock Purdy has run this offense well to the point where coach says, "Hey, if Jimmy G is ready by NFC title game or Super Bowl, we're going with Brock Purdy."
Mhm.
They're not even going to play around with it. McCaffrey looks wonderful. Debo's back. Debo had his Debo moments. He looks unbelievable. Kittle
Mhm.
is back looking like Kittle.
Yeah.
Dallas 24-20.
I
Dallas
think.
24-20. Because you beat San Francisco by beating them over the top. That's one thing that you can do with San Francisco.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think Gallup and CD can beat them over the top. They can stretch the field. I Because running the ball against this team is not,
Is
Dallas will try to establish it. I think we're going to see a lot more Pollard because he can get some speed to the outside. Um, but I think we see Zeke's pass protection is going to be very big in this game. The way he can make sure Dak has a, a couple more beats, and I think
Mhm.
that's going to help them have just enough over the top plays and get the ball downfield to where I think they can get 24 on this team, and I think they can hold that offense. However explosive it is, I think they can hold them to 20. I think Dallas goes into San Francisco and set up a New York Giants at Dallas Cowboys Sunday NFC title game because I really think they beat San Francisco. I think San Francisco is excellent. I just think I think Dallas is a team that can go in and they can pull this off.
Um, I think that schematically, Dallas is playing a team that uses certain packages very well. They don't rely on their receivers to get downfield. They
Right,
use runs after run after the catch is very important to that offense.
right.
It's extremely important. Their linemen get out and block well. Um, they're very good at that. So their receivers, Debo, he blocks very well.
He does.
Um, Having McCaffrey and Debo presents a challenge. Speed wise is where they get you. They get the ball, little 3 yard hitch, boom. You
It's
get
gone.
7 yards, 8 yards, 10
Hmm.
yards, 15 yards. So Purdy doesn't have to do anything overly difficult to move his team downfield. He
Right.
also uses his legs pretty well. That's something to look out for in this game as well. Dallas's linebackers, however, are faster than other linebackers
Hmm.
San Francisco has faced this year. They still have Michael Parsons on that side of the ball. They still have Neville Gallimore on that side of the ball. They
That
still have
defensive
G
line
Law
is real, man.
on that side of the ball. They still
It's a
have
real
Doris
defensive
Armstrong on
line.
that side of the ball. So those guys will put enough pressure on that quarterback to make him make a decision he's not accustomed to making in real time. That's going to be the key. Pollard has speed especially on the outside. He's a little tougher than you would think,
He is.
um,
He
but
is. He breaks tackles.
his speed is going to help that team establish, keep those linebackers up a little bit, and keep those safeties a little honest as well.
Right.
I don't expect Zeke to go into San Francisco and get 100 yards. If Zeke
No.
gets 100 yards, Dallas wins easy. I expect Zeke to pound where he needs to pound. He is at this point a bulldozer in his career.
Hmm.
He's not that break all of a sudden he just breaks one loose for 30 yards for you. He's not that guy anymore.
Right.
But he does bring a certain value. And as you mentioned earlier, his blitz pickup. is outstanding.
It's magnificent.
He is one of the best blocking backs and picking up the blitz than
He's very good at that.
in the league. So that, as you said, that gives Dak a couple of more ticks to for another check down if he needs it.
I agree.
So I think Dallas wins 27-24.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
believe it or not, it's going to come down to
To
Brett
Brett
Maher.
Maher.
And I just believe I sometimes believe in redemption. I just think that
He's
all
gonna
of a
come
sudden
in
he's going to
48
come
yard
in,
field goal
40-yard field goal to win the game. And
and
that's going to
nails it.
and nails it. Right. So with all the pressure, they're going to call a timeout to freeze him. They're going to do
Hmm.
all of that.
Yeah, he's
And
gonna
he's going
figure
to
it out.
nail and he's going to figure it
That's
out and
fair.
nail it. So I
That's
think
fair.
Dallas wins the game, and I think they win 27-24, which sets up a New York
That's
Giants Dallas Cowboy NFC title game. And you
it, it.
couldn't ask for nothing better as far as I'm concerned.
It sets up
Oh,
a
I may
Bills
not have
and
to talk to.
Chiefs neutral zone on the neutral field in
Oh, that's
Atlanta
right.
AFC
That's
title
right.
game,
That's right.
and then it sets up that when we get this Giants at Cowboys NFC title game. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. My best friend in the world, my guy Brendan, is a as big of a Dallas fan as my dad over here. And then I got my man's over here, Quiet Storm, who's he just bleeds it, man. It's been his whole life. So we're gonna come on this show. I'm gonna invite my man Brendan up. I don't know what I will. I don't know because I don't like Philly. It's NFC East, but there's a difference in beating Philly and then beating like Dallas making their first NFC title game since 90 96, 90
95. 95.
95,
Yeah. Hmm.
and the opportunity to stop them from making a Super Bowl in Dallas.
Hmm.
I don't know if I worked that week, man. Like I I don't know what happens that week, man. Every single day of that week, it's just gonna be me looking at my phone, but like I know I'm gonna just be like, hey man, you feeling all right? Cool, man. Glad work was good. Because I don't know what I'll be able to deal with mentally, except this. I think it would be a wonderful experience to do at this stage of how I know how to handle things. You
Hmm.
know, oh 07, 2011, I was unreasonable in oh 07. I was unreasonable in 2007 when they played.
Hmm.
Now it's just, I understand that this Giants team it's not supposed to be this far already. We're not supposed to be here yet. And of course getting a game away from the Super Bowl because we're beating Philly on Saturday. Getting a game away from the Super Bowl, of course, at that point you throw all that away. And you just say, "Hey, I just want to get to the Super Bowl. This is nuts." But I don't know. I don't know if we watch this game together. I don't know if we just don't. I don't know if we speak that day. I'm sure we probably would. If the game gets out of hand, I don't know when. I don't know when the other person reaches out to the other. Like I don't know what happened. A
Hmm.
Giants Cowboy. We played in the playoffs,
Hmm.
but to get to the Super Bowl,
It's like
I don't know, man. We
it's like Duke, North
because
Carolina.
full disclosure,
If you
my dad is a monster North Carolina fan. I'm a monster Duke guy. I've been a Duke guy since March 28th, 1992. I've been a Duke guy. North Carolina Duke played in the Final Four last year, and it was all day. I didn't know what to do with myself, man. It's Duke Carolina. They already beat Coach K in Coach K's final home game, so I was already just like, not again, man. Baycott, ugly ass. Like it's just I can't.
not a bad ugly.
Not-
Oh, it's coming out now. It's coming out. It's coming out,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not gonna be well, man. That whole week leading up to Giants at Dallas, yo.
Listen, let me say this.
I'm trying to
I
keep
have
it nice,
gotten
man. I don't
so
know what I'm gonna
much
do.
better as I've gotten more seasoned.
Yes,
I won't say older, more seasoned. I've gotten much better in handling expectations. I have no expectations of Dallas because for 28 years, those expectations have always been let down in some way. Now I look at Dallas differently. I look at Dallas as doing the best they can and playing the just play as hard as you can. I know that I want Dallas to win. I want Dallas to win another
yeah,
Super Bowl before I
you do,
close my eyes for
you
good.
do,
I want that.
you do.
I want my Mets to win a World Series again. I need that because it's been
That's
so
true.
long since it's happened.
86 is a
So
long time.
I want those things. I,
You
I
do,
crave those things because you don't get these opportunities too often.
you don't.
So when you get a chance to get there, just play your best.
Just
Do
play your
what you
best.
can. Just play your best.
Let it be close.
Now,
I don't want anybody to get blown out of the
I
water.
don't have a hatred
Mm,
for the Giants. I've always felt like I mean I've rooted for the Giants in the Super Bowls they were in. Every one. Every Super
yeah.
Bowl they've ever been in, I rooted for them because I'm not a Brady guy, so I wasn't rooting for New England.
Hmm.
I rooted for them against Buffalo, and I rooted for them um,
Against Denver.
against Denver.
Yeah.
So I I just don't like Philadelphia and Washington, man. I just can't. Losing to them would hurt me a whole lot more than losing to the Giants.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm
something
not.
about losing to Philly that
I'm
just
not the
works
same
my last nerve.
because
And
eventually
but
you get to a point, man, where you like and Emmitt Smith separate a shoulder game. Dion catching the punt and high stepping from the 47 on us, bro. And I'm young enough to not
Patrick Creighton
understand.
not catching the ball, he catches it, we win the game.
I appreciated that.
Right? You
I
know,
appreciated that,
Michael
man.
Strahan and Jason Pierre-Paul beating up on beating up on Romo, hurting him.
I
Right?
appreciated
Right?
that,
You
man.
know, I mean, it goes both ways, man.
This is going to be
It goes
right.
both ways.
It does. It does. Recent big time game history, in the playoffs, the Giants have gotten the better of them.
Yes.
Like Eli winning the first game in the new stadium and
And then
writing on
writing
the
his
wall.
initials on the wall,
Yeah,
little,
man.
little stuff like
There's
that. See,
history.
yeah,
There's
and it
history.
hasn't always been a cordial history, but that's amongst the players and the
It's the
fans feed
NFC
off of
East,
that.
man.
And it's the
It's the
NFC
NFC
East. You
East.
don't want anyone to own you in your division. And for a lot of years prior to the
The
mod,
Giants have been owned by Dallas and Philly. They've been owned for a
well,
very long
Dallas
time.
owned the entire
This is going to
division
be
for many years. I think it
cathartic
was
to beat
18 years
Philly.
in a row. Dallas went to the playoffs. They hold the NFL record for most
This is
consecutive
going to
years
be
with the playoffs.
cathartic to
So
beat Philly
it's
on
going to be
Saturday
crazy.
night.
It's going to
It's
be
going to feel
crazy.
good. It is.
It's going to be crazy.
Before we get up out of here, we're breaking down soon. Before we get up out of here, hey TCU man, here's
Oh, yeah. They must have thought they was getting off the hook tonight. Nah.
TCU man. Yeah, I was a little bit under the weather. I didn't feel good. I What I do know is that I felt better than 65-7 in the Natty. I do know that when you go to the national championship game, you talk about we're not that different from these teams. We can play with anybody. Nobody, nobody should have been picked over us. I get it, man. You blew your shot because next time there's a two-loss Bama team lurking somewhere. If that's the case, guess what, TCU 65-7 and Natty means you're gonna be home. And they're gonna put us in 65-7 in the national. You made Stetson Bennett look like Johnny Unitas. Like you let Stetson Bennett look like prime Steve Young against the Chargers in the Super Bowl. Like he looked 65-7 in the national championship game. TCU, please keep our name out your mouth, bro. Sonny Dykes, great job this year, bro. Max Duggan, Hacksaw Max Duggan, good job, bro.
Yeah, he got hacksawed. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you right now. Let me say this to you right now. Hashtag TCU. Hashtag Horn Frogs. You
Talk to him.
lose
Talk to him.
65-7
65-7
in a national championship game
in the
that
Natty.
told the world you had no business there to begin with.
What you doing here?
You had no business being there.
Why you
Now,
here, bro?
so you mean to tell me,
Of course, oh,
Sonny
you be
Dykes, that
Michigan. That's cool.
you're bashing the SEC schedule
Sure did.
because right? But oh, we get Texas. We don't get Austin P. I bet you would have had more fun playing Texas than you did Georgia. The SEC
You
is
were
built.
Austin Peter, Georgia.
That's right.
They
You
might as
were
well
Austin
play
P. Because guess what?
Stanford. No, no,
Georgia didn't beat
Sanford. Not
Missouri.
Stanford.
Sanford. Georgia didn't beat Sanford that bad. Georgia didn't beat Missouri that bad. They almost lost to Missouri. You lost
It might as well have been Appalachian
65-7
State out there in the Natty.
in the
In the
national
Natty.
championship game
In front of everybody.
in front of everyone.
In front of everybody, man.
So you, Sonny Dykes, need to stay in the Big 12,
Just watch your
play your
mouth.
little
That's all.
conference. And guess what? You don't have to worry about Texas, Oklahoma come 2025 anyway. So
Just leave
guess
the
what? You
SEC
don't have to
alone.
play them. Just play Texas San Antonio, plus whoever you go play,
I wasn't gonna say anything.
right?
He wanted to
Because
talk about the
because
cupcake schedules in the SEC.
right,
They're not really testing themselves. I get it, bro.
the SEC
You
is
are the
built
cupcake.
differently. That conference is built different. That the way they prepare is built different.
The team
That
that beat
conference
you in your conference title game, what happened when Alabama played them in the
lost
Sugar
by three
Bowl?
scores in the Sugar Bowl.
41-20 in the Sugar. Like, come on, bro.
Come on, man. Come on.
That's your tough competition. We lost to a top 10 Kansas State team. We deserve to be in. We beat the brakes off of Kansas. Keep our name out your mouth. It's very
Listen,
simple. Will Smith
listen.
told Chris Rock this very clearly. Just keep our name out your mouth
Just
and
keep
you don't get
keep our
slapped
name
up
out your
out of
mouth.
here.
And that's
65-7
what
in the
happens.
national
You
championship
lose
game.
you lose 65-7. You lose all
65-7.
credibility to say anything else moving forward.
Watch your mouth.
You don't say anything. You just play your schedule. Let the polls be what they are,
Just watch your
and
mouth.
just be quiet because you have shown you weren't ready for the big time. Kansas State,
65.
you showed everyone, Big 12 champions, you were not ready for Alabama. Alabama team that
65-7.
everybody, hey, 2 losses, you got smoked. That's Alabama, probably what the third best team in the conference going into the bowl season,
Sure.
right? You could argue and say there was
You can
three
argue
teams better
Tennessee.
than them. You could say Tennessee maybe, or how? Guess what? LSU beat them. So guess what? Those teams could say, "Hey, we beat Bama." But guess what happened in the bowl game?
Come on,
You
man.
played a focused Bama team, and you got smoked.
The Big 12 is not the SEC, bro.
It's not, and it never will be.
Sonny Dykes, watch your mouth. That's all I'm
Watch your
saying.
mouth.
We appreciate y'all hanging with us, man. We
So
do.
listen, we
We appreciate
appreciate
y'all
that
very much.
you talked it. Okay, fine. Kirby Smart beat that ass.
65-7 in the Natty, bro.
And now you have Georgia fans. Now, before we leave, I got to say this to Georgia fans because I ain't letting y'all off the hook either.
They can say whatever they want, man.
You guys, for all those years, Bama was winning their championships and
Hmm.
SEC titles.
Hmm.
You guys were bashing Bama and
They were.
bashing Bama fans and bashing Saban and everything else, right?
They were.
Because you were trying to play catch up. You're now the standard bearers in the SEC. You've won
Hmm. You are
two
now the
straight
hunted.
national championships. You're the hunted. Everything. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Enjoy this because as Bama fans, Ace and I understand we have been spoiled by Nick Saban. We have been
100%.
spoiled by his success. We have been spoiled that we've been to 9 national championship games and won 6 at Alabama. 9 and 16 years. So we are spoiled as Alabama fans. We understand that.
We do.
But please understand, we are not going anywhere. We will be back.
Yeah.
We will be back next year. We will hire a new defensive coordinator. who is going to be a totally different guy than what we saw to Pete Golding. And we're likely going to have a new offensive coordinator as soon as Bill O'Brien leaves and goes back to New England, goes up to New England.
We'll
So
see you soon.
if that's what happens, we will see y'all soon and we
See you
will
soon.
revisit these conversations. But be very careful. When I said about the weight of expectations on the Eagles, the weight of expectations is only going to get heavier and heavier and heavier
It is.
on a program that is as dominant as Georgia seems to be right now.
Yep.
They've lost one game in 2 years,
They're so good.
right?
They're
You
really,
you
really good.
you know what it's like to win now, Georgia. Embrace that. But don't sit there and act as if Alabama is dead, or act like Tennessee is not on the come up with Josh Heupel, or
No.
act like some of these
Or do.
teams.
Please act like Alabama's dead.
Right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about us over here. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you
We'll see
soon
you
enough.
soon.
We'll see
We
you soon.
appreciate y'all, man. We are back next week.
Next week we're
Giant
gonna do something a little different. We're going to bring on a
Cowboys.
couple of people. I'm gonna invite a couple of people to the show. We're gonna talk about some football menu recipes, and as we get ready to get into the
Championship
Super
Sunday,
Bowl,
man. Championship Sunday is the
yeah.
day,
So
man.
we're gonna have Food You Cherish LLC on, and have her come on and talk about some nice football recipes that for
Wonderful.
some nice tailgate food. We're gonna
For
talk about that
Championship
as we talk
Sunday, man.
football. That's right. We're gonna get ourselves ready.
Hey, Giants. Hey, Philly. Hey. Hey, Philly. Hey, Philly. Y'all better. I understand. We'll see you soon, Philly.
We'll see y'all soon. San Fran, we're on our way.
Hey, Philly. Don't lose. Don't lose to us.
Don't lose to Giants,
Don't.
because I'm gonna be a complimentary Giant lover for just about 3 hours, roasting you cats. We gonna have roast pigeon. Mess around and lose if you want to. After all the smack, after all of that,
Seagulls on
y'all
a
been
branch.
talking. Listen,
Yeah, get your seagull selling that. We appreciate y'all, man. We'll see you soon.
it's gonna be penguins.
Love y'all as always, man.
After all the smack y'all been talking, oh, you better not lose. Better not.
See you soon.
Later, y'all.
Philly.
Love you.
Appreciate y'all, man. Hey, Philly.